Yup. What's up? I know I sound terrible. Please excuse me. But welcome back to the What We Gon' Do podcast. I am your host, AJ. I have lost my voice, so I sound like shit, but the show must go on. If you would like to find me on social media, find me on Instagram at What We Gon' Do Pod. That's GONE. What We Gon' Do Pod. On Twitter at What We Gon' Do Pod. If you would like to support the podcast, visit patreon.com/What We Gon' Do. Read what the podcast is about, why I even have a Patreon. And if you feel like you would like to contribute, please do so. You know what I mean? I need all the help I can get. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, check out podbean.com/What We Gon' Do and get a free 30 days of unlimited hosting on me, on What We Gon' Do, on AJ, whatever you like to call it, that's what it is. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, email me, whatwegondo@gmail.com. Make sure you like, share, retweet, comment, follow me, do all of that good stuff. Help me out. Help me help you. Talk to me. Whatever it is, I need all the help I can get. Alright, so let me go ahead and get into a recap of my shitty ass week that I don't normally do. So, the weather finally got me. I finally took my L. I've been dodging all of this funky ass Texas weather since I got down here, and just coming from Arkansas in the rain and the cold, and then it's hot, and then it's hailing, and then it might sleet, and it's like, oh man. So I've been dodging all of this. But I'm telling you, Friday, it finally caught up to me. So this is the thing, with me and my daughter, we pretty much go out almost every day. I take my daughter to the park like every day. We play, we take videos, we take pictures, we have fun. We do this like every day or whatever. So Friday, we go out to the park. Everything is cool, then it starts raining. We make it to the car before it starts raining or whatever. So we get to the house. I get in the house. It ain't raining exactly where we at, so cool, get in the house. But me, being me, I say I'm going to go back out. To hell with all this, I'm going back out. And I mean, it's coming down. They got tornado sirens going off, all this other shit going on. I'm going back out because I want some donuts. I just had a taste for some damn donuts. I was like, I'm finna go get me some donuts. So, I go out, I go get in the car. I get up to Walmart, and I mean, it's coming down, woofing. I'm like, fuck it. Get out the car, go into Walmart, get wet up. I get back to the house. I mean, I'm drenched or whatever. I'm drying off at this point or whatever, but I'm straight. I woke up that night. I could feel it that night. I woke up that next day, and I was like, this fucking weather. This motherfucking weather finally got to me. It finally got me. And I'm still recovering. It feels like it's been changing almost every day. I've been taking medicine. I've been doing this and that. Now I don't want to hear about none of y'all remedies, none of that shit. It's gonna pass. I got a long weekend coming up. Got shit to do this weekend, but I'm doing whatever I can do to recover or whatever. So today, it's like my eyes is acting up. I don't know. A whole bunch of shit. It's like the shit just been changing or whatever. But still gotta go to work. Still gotta get that money. Still gotta make it happen. So I've been slowly recuperating, getting my energy back. I feel good. I feel good. If it wasn't for my voice and my throat, other than that, I'm fine. I'm like perfectly fine or whatever. I didn't need no doctor's appointment. I didn't need none of that. I mean, I probably was running a fever Saturday, Sunday or whatever, but I'm good now. All of that stuff is gone. So, as my quick recap of my week, it's back to sunny out here in Texas. Still getting used to this weather, a lot of pollen, allergies. I got allergies or whatever, even though I don't take medicine, but I'm going to start trying to take medicine. Because, I don't know, the stuff out here, the pollen out here may be worse than Arkansas, but I have yet to find out. So this episode barely got recorded. Y'all should be happy that y'all getting the episode because it sound like shit. If you hear stuff in the background, it is what it is. I had to change the whole title of what I was going to do. Like I was going to do something completely different, but I had to switch it up. So yeah, y'all barely got an episode. But here I am recording another one. I had a topic that I really wanted to go into, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it, and mainly because I'm sick. So that's why I ain't been on social media. I'm going to try to catch up on all y'all podcasts. I'm gonna get back on social media as soon as I can, but there's been a lot going on as far as things going on at work. I've been busy, and I can't focus. I be doing too much stuff. This week, I really need to sit down and focus because this damn cold been fucking with me, and I can't think. Listen to podcasts, watch this, and do my work and do all this stuff at the same time. I probably could if I just made myself do it, but nah, I'm just, I'm kind of cutting everything out. I'm about to cut a lot of this shit out, but this week I really had to focus or whatever. Just a lot of stuff going on this week. Alright, I know y'all probably tired of me talking about all this other shit. Let me get into what I'm finna talk about today. As bad as I sound and as bad as the quality is, I promise y'all the quality will get better. So, for those of y'all that don't know, because I don't really talk about it, y'all don't hear me talk about it out loud, all this stuff, but I'm not in my house yet. Our house ain't gonna be ready until May. So then I'm gonna get my whole setup, get all that shit together, but until then, I'm kind of just making it happen. Working conditions is the same way or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of having to accommodate and deal with the working conditions for right now until my damn house is ready. Once my house is ready, we gonna be up and running. I'm still planning on linking with people. I'm still planning on getting with people. It's really just once I get into this house, then I can kind of move around and do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Until then, I'm kind of just like relaxing. I ain't trying to do too much. Just stacking up money for some upcoming stuff or whatever. But I ain't really trying to do it too big or whatever. But once I get into this house, get all my stuff situated, get my backyard situated. I mean, it's nice. I mean, the house is already set up. It's already ready. It's just to move in or whatever. They got to do whatever they got to do. It's in a nice neighborhood. It's, whatever the case may be. Got my daughter into a nice school district. That's a whole other conversation. Just talking about this is my first year going through the whole school process and my, just my daughter and when her birthday falls and a whole bunch of that stuff. I ain't gonna talk about a whole bunch of that stuff either. I try to keep y'all know what I talk about. Y'all see me on social media, man. Everything ain't for everybody, man. So I don't really be talking about everything. Not because I can't talk about it, I'm afraid to talk about it, no shit like that. It just ain't none of y'all fucking business. It's not none of y'all damn business. My business is me, my family, stuff that go on offline in the real world. And I like to keep it like that, man. I realized, I wanted to take it back. The way that I see social media is going, I don't really like it, man. I really want to go back to how shit was and being in the real world and just being a real person. And I feel like when you put too much of your energy and information online, you stop being a real person and you start being something else and what motherfuckers make you up to be or whatever. I like to have a little mystery. I like people to wonder, what the fuck does he do? What does his wife look like? What is his daughter? What his home? Whatever it is, I like people to wonder, what am I doing? What moves am I making? I like y'all to think about. I like y'all to just come up with shit, man. Imagination. You know what I mean? I don't like to sit here and tell y'all every little detail or facet of my everyday life. And I really, like I say, that just ain't what this podcast is for. This podcast is about what we gonna do, and hopefully I can give y'all some information that y'all can take and y'all can apply to y'all lives now as I'm trying to apply it to mine. This episode is about, I know I'm getting to it. This episode is about podcasting. Well, it's really about me and podcasting and just the whole journey. I'm going to take y'all back and I'm going to bring y'all all the way up to present day. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to talk about. That's the mood I was in because I almost didn't record this, and it wasn't just because of me being sick. It was just all these different little things. I was like, man, you know what? Podcasting ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm joking because the shit funny. I mean, but it's easy, but it ain't easy. It's like anything else in life, man. How much energy you put into it, how much effort you put into it, how much sacrifice you put into it, that's how easy it is or easy it can be. It's all up to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like when it come to school can be hard or easy depending on how much you put into that shit. Work. It's up to you how easy, how hard that shit can be. Going to the gym. It's up to you how easy, how hard they can be. Playing a sport. Man, it's up to you. Everything is up to you, but podcasting ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of it. Maybe for me, it may not apply to all of y'all, but the shit applies to me sometimes, not all the time. This podcast, even if you've listened to episode 1, let me go back for some of y'all who ain't listened to episode 1. But even if you have listened to episode 1, I'm going to try to put a little bit more sauce into this than I did in the episode 1. Well, not a little bit more sauce, because, man, that was really like the launch. That was the beginning. That was everything. So, before I even had the idea of podcasting, I used to be, like, on social media, like, heavy. I was on everything. I was on Google+. I was on Twitter. I was on Instagram. I was on Facebook. Before then, I was on Black Planet. I was on MySpace. I used to be on like a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? I used to be in the forums. I used to be replying to shit on Very Smart Brothers. I used to be on the blogs, man. I used to be a little bit of everywhere. This is years ago, before podcasting. And so I got to a point to where it was like, I started like cutting away at different things. I ain't been got off Black Planet and like MySpace and shit like that. But as far as like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I had got on the Google+, set me up this whole thing. I used to have a whole little website running, YouTube, had my whole YouTube going and stuff like that, promotion and all of this other stuff. And, you know, it was like, I always was kind of like putting my energy into different things, not necessarily knowing what I wanted to do with it. But I got to a point to where it was like, man, I got to monetize this. And not like monetize it like I need the money, but it's like, man, I got to really start doing something with this, man. Like, this stuff is going to waste. I'm talking to people who don't give a fuck. I'm wasting my time doing this. I'm not researching this. I'm not promoting myself like this. I'm not networking like this, or whatever the case may be. And I went through all these different, motions, but I kept doing stuff. I kept recording videos. I kept doing audio. I kept writing. I was writing, I still write from time to time, or whatever the case may be, because I like to write, and I wrote a whole book or whatever. But anyway, so I did this stuff, you know what I mean? I'm online. I'm doing this, that, and the third. And I'm just starting to see like, man, I really need to start from the ground up. You know what I mean? Like, I need to start from the ground up. I really need to let go of some of these people that I don't feel like are contributing. I don't feel like give a shit. They just around. It's like, man, I was popular. Like, I had a lot of people. I bullshit y'all now. Y'all can call it whatever y'all want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all probably think I be on some Bow Wow challenge shit. Like, I really just be talking. But I'm dead serious. I used to be very popular on social media, on multiple platforms. Not just outside in the street. Motherfuckers knew me in the street. People still know me in the street to this day, but I was popping on social media because I was on social media heavy. I was following everybody. I was doing all of this other shit, being, whatever, being social or whatever. So I got to a point to where I was like, man, you know what? I gotta like let go of some of this stuff, man. Like, I gotta move on, man, because I'm too like attached to it. I was so attached to it that I didn't know if I could survive without it, man, because I just like checking it and being on it and talking to people. But social media stopped being social. It just wasn't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? Stuff wasn't the same no more. So I was like, all right, first, let me see how I can get rid of Facebook. I went through the motions, deactivated my Facebook. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I backed up all my shit first. I was like, I can't lose all this good content, man. I wrote so much stuff and I did so much stuff and I posted so much stuff. But I was like, I got to deactivate it. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg still got my Facebook shit somewhere or whatever, but I deactivated my Facebook. And also, so if I ever become president, you motherfuckers can't, backtrack that shit or whatever. You might find this podcast, but I don't know. We'll see. Because if I go into something else, if I go into TV and this, that, and the third, this podcast shit might disappear. And y'all ain't never gonna know. So it's like, each little thing I do, I'm trying not to leave no trails nowhere. Hopefully I done clean up all my trails. But if you find my MySpace, follow me. If I don't know where that shit is, if you find my MySpace, if you find, and of course, all this stuff is under different names or whatever. So y'all probably ain't never gonna find it. Y'all barely see my name now. And that's intentional. As far as how many times y'all actually see my name now. So I got rid of Facebook. I'm like, damn, if I can get rid of Facebook, then I can get rid of Twitter. And I can get rid of Instagram, man, because it's like, dude, I really ain't for this shit. I really ain't for, like, all this fake shit. I'm not really for tweeting all these random people and, like, people that don't talk back and following these celebrities and da-da-da, doing all this stuff. Like, that's what people first did when they got on Twitter. Like, Twitter was basically, it wasn't even about talking. It was really just following other people, and really, it was like a faster Facebook. It was like, you basically got a minute by minute, like, little thing on motherfuckers tweeting, talking about their lives, and you can follow celebrities and keep up with them and stuff like that. That's basically what it was. Then it got into all this advertising, doing all this extra stuff or whatever. But that's what it was, in the beginning or whatever. But I had to get off of there because it was just like, again, a lot of people, I had all my shit connected. So it was like a lot of the same people. The Facebook people was on Twitter. The Facebook people was on Instagram. And I just realized, like, man, I need a new community. A community that support me. A community that ain't made up of all these people I know from the hood that ain't trying to support them. That's on Facebook just to bullshit. That's on Twitter just to bullshit. That's on Instagram just to bullshit. A lot of motherfuckers that really ain't about their business or whatever. I'm like, I need some new people. I need some new friends. I'm telling you, I need some new, I need some new followers. I need all of this. So I made that transition, got off of that, and then I got on Google Plus for a while. Google Plus was like my only shit. And I was on there, but it was just like, man, YouTubing and doing Google Plus and reading all these analytics and going through it and having a website, that shit is a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And you need some help. You know what I mean? You need some help. And I just wasn't going in the right direction that I wanted to go with that. Like, I was just feeling myself, like, again, not really, like, I was forcing myself to do it, and it was starting not to necessarily be fun. You know what I mean? It was just like, I'm doing this, but am I doing what I need to be doing? I really need to be doing this. I need to really be looking into this. I need to work on my IT. I need to do this. I need to work on my scripting. I need to, whatever the case may be. And I just really didn't have the energy and initiative to put into it just because of shit that was going on in my real life. All of this shit is like shit on the side. It ain't the most important shit in the world. Like, you got like little hobbies, little interests, and then you got like real life shit to deal with. So my real life shit was like distracting me from doing some of this extra shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, I'm finna get off of that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't right. It wasn't all the way right. And me, I'm a perfectionist. Like, if my website ain't all the way right, you know what I mean? I can really let it go, you know what I'm saying? After I let go of Facebook, it was a lot easier for me to just let go of stuff and distance myself from stuff or whatever. So I get on like SoundCloud while I'm on, like Google Plus and doing all that. And I get on SoundCloud, and at first it's really just like for music. And I think, man, I started like seeing like a couple of podcasts. I don't remember exactly like the first ones, but I started getting into like podcasts. Like, I want to say the oldest one I really remember is like 3 in a Pod. These some people that I want to say is from Jersey or whatever. So I got into like the 3 in a Pod show. Shout out to them, and shout out to the homie and his daughters, man, and his bro. You know what I mean? Just plain at Just Plain Old Done. That's the homie name. Him and his bro, they had another show because they used to do like 2 shows or whatever, and they used to both, come out. So them like the oldest podcasts I remember. And I was just thinking, like, man, this is awesome. Like, a podcast that you can sit and listen to with your kids or with your daughter or with your sisters or something like that, because it was him and it was his 2 daughters. And then there was another podcast where he would just do with like him and his brother or whatever. So I did that for a little bit. Google Plus did that. So I got off of like all social media, everything, even SoundCloud. I got off of SoundCloud for about 2 years, where basically all I was doing during that time was playing games. And eventually I got off of playing games or whatever, but I was like, playing regular video games, and I was just like enjoying life. You know what I mean? I was, catching up on TV, like doing other stuff than just being online and doing this, that, and the third. So I messed around, and one day I got back on like SoundCloud. I wasn't gonna get back on none of that other shit. I deleted it. It's gone. Whoop-de-whoop. So I got rid of all that other stuff. Got rid of my Google Plus profiles. Blase. But I get back on SoundCloud, and I see one of the first people I see that follow me was Podcast Brothers. Now I don't know exactly why the Podcast Brothers follow me. Even to this day, we kind of joke about that. Like, I remember seeing them before I left SoundCloud, and by the time I came back, I hit them up, and I was just like, yo, I started checking them out. I started getting into their shit, and it's like, I really went like all the way back. Podcast Brothers, I got into Dreams, because I was like, I started like looking into podcasts, and I got into Dreams and Drive, and I got into all these different shows or whatever. I got into, what's the homies, TOS podcast, thanks to the Podcast Brothers. And I just got into different stuff, because typically what I would do is I would get on there and I would start like searching. I would search like, okay, what are business podcasts? What are podcasts that are kind of social? What are podcasts that are talking about this? What are podcasts that are talking about that? And all it was all through SoundCloud. I ain't really know about anything else. But I started learning, listening to Dreams and Drive. It just got the wheels to turning. Listening to Steven with I can't think of the bro podcast. But I would listen to a lot of stuff in the beginning or whatever. And then I kind of started weeding different things out, and I started changing things over, which I still do to this day or whatever. But I kind of figured out, okay, I could do this. You know what I mean? Like I could do this. But I was really a fan. I was really soaking it up. I was getting to know people. I was talking. They know, my support was, man, a lot of people got stuff through my support. I low key, I was the plug. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, I really connected a lot of people, man. I was really shouting people out. I was really telling people to check this out. I was really telling people to do this or whatever. Way before I even got on Twitter, I was really making it happen on SoundCloud, and really trying to link people up and tell people to check this out, and really just talking about dope stuff and talking to them and collaborating and doing this, that, and the thing. I was really doing all of that. I was posting links before Barry and before Podcastin Color. I don't remember nobody being on this shit. I was on this shit early, include people into that. I was posting links. I was telling people about it, and then I quit. And you know what I mean? That's a whole other conversation I ain't gonna talk about on here. But I was on a lot of shit early and really brought people into it. Whether people acknowledge it, know it or not, I was really, bridging all of these different gaps or whatever early. And so around the time of the election, because the wheels get to turning in my head, man, I should start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I should start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? This is something I could do. And I could talk for days. At first it was a little intimidating, because it was man, I was only used to making 5-10 minute videos or whatever when I was doing the YouTube shit or whatever, because I thought people, attention spans was real short. And so when I came into this, I was like, yo, can I talk for this long? Can I do this for this long? And then when I sat down, I was like, yo, I can do it. Even without a co-host, I could do a solo podcast. I could make it happen. So when that election happened, I was like, F all this. I went out. I started setting up everything in the background. I figured out how to do it. And I was like, all right, let me get this SoundCloud set up. Let me figure out who can be my other host. Let me figure out how I can get on iTunes. Let me figure out how I can get on all these different avenues. And I'm going to start setting this shit up. You know what I mean? As far as well, actually, that came a little bit later on. But I was like, all right, let me get on social media. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and set this up. So I set up a Snapchat. I set up a Twitter. I set up an Instagram. I wasn't even on it. I didn't really get active on it until about January, which is officially when I started getting on there. I started talking. I started being social. I started following people and doing all of this stuff. And everybody kind of just followed these different, you know what I mean? Everybody started doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But I really got in. And I started putting that work in, and I started drawing these different lines in the sand and really just trying to be genuine. It wasn't no fake stuff. I did all of this stuff out of being genuine, even promoting Podcastin Color early on, before all the Twitter, way before, you know what I'm saying? Because I found that was one of the only podcast directories, and it wasn't that many podcasts even on there at the time or whatever. But it was like every time I would go out and search and I would try to find podcasts, I couldn't find them. And I was like, yo, where's the black podcast? How can I find other black podcasts? How can I find local podcasts? And the directory was basic at that time. It was real basic. She done updated and did stuff now, whatever. So anyway, I set all of that stuff up and I started getting on social media. Because I was like, man, it was really supposed to launch. But there was a failure to launch. I was like nervous. I didn't know if I wanted to really launch it. I was just like, man, how am I going to do it? I ain't got the time. I got a daughter. I really just got to coming up with all these different excuses as far as why I couldn't launch this podcast. But I'm already on social media at this point. And it's like, we come from Queens. It's like, oh yeah, we waiting to see, what you get to talking about. Different people. We waiting to see what you going to talk about, bro. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I did this for about 6 months. And I was like, fuck it. Because again, I'm a perfectionist, man. I was just like, yo, if I can't get this, man, I hear how they doing this. I don't want to be sound like this. I don't want to be just putting out no bullshit. I'm coming up with all these different things, man. I gotta have time to record. I gotta go do this. I gotta have space to record. And I think I was listening to Official Toddy. And I think like between her and Sarah Vega, I listened to a whole bunch of people, but it was like, they was like, yo, we getting it how we live. Official Toddy was like, yo, I'm recording in my closet. Sarah Vega was like, yo, I'm recording in my closet. Yo, I'm recording in the living room. Yo, y'all can hear the train. Y'all can hear this. Y'all can hear. And I was like, man, you know what? Forget all of this. I put a lot of pressure on myself because, again, it's like people see me. I'm articulate. I'm this, I'm that. I've had these different conversations with people, so it's like I'm thinking, man, I gotta come out the gate like on some professional shit. Like I gotta come out the gate like I'm Combat Jack or some shit like that. But then I realized like I'm not fucking Combat Jack. You know what I mean? I ain't even got the energy. I ain't even got the time to come out and do something like I'm Combat Jack or whatever. So I go through all these different motions, having these different thoughts in my head, and I was like, you know what? Let me figure out how I can record. Let me figure out how I can host. Let me figure out how I can push this out. Let me figure out how I can do some graphics. Let me figure out how I can put some little media together. Let me just figure it out. Let me just do it. Or let me figure out how I can edit it. Let me figure out how I can put some music to it or whatever the case may be. So, June of 2017, I launched the podcast. It was like middle towards the end of June. I finally launched the podcast. I get the episode out. I'm feeling good, you know what I'm saying? And again, I finally did it. I sat down, I recorded, I figured out how to. So when I started my first probably 30 days of launching my podcast, I bullshit y'all not, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, I did everything on my phone. I played around with different voice recording apps because I wasn't finna go buy no microphone. It was like, man, I'm doing this shit on the side. Like, I'm not finna really invest no money and no time into this or whatever. But I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to get my voice out there so it could be heard. So I was like, all right, I found me voice recorder apps. I played around with different like headsets or whatever. Cause you got like your earbuds, you got your over the ear headphones, you got your Beats, you got whatever. So I like played around with that as far as like, okay, should I use a mic like that? Or should I not use a mic? Should I just use this? So I found like a good thing to where I was like, okay, this sounds good. So boom, I'm using this voice recorder app. Okay, editing. So, SoundCloud has different limits and you got to upload to SoundCloud. So I had to figure out how I could compress my files and upload to SoundCloud because there was a limit as far as what you could upload. And there was a time frame on SoundCloud. So I found a compress app that I had to use and I would record. I would figure out how to I would edit my files on my phone using an audio editor. Then I would go through and I would go back and I would compress the file. I would see how it sounded. And then I would go and I would upload that file to Podbean, to SoundCloud. Again, I was still trying to figure out who I wanted to host it. Me and SoundCloud kind of fell out. So I was like, I ain't hosting my shit on SoundCloud. I'm going to still put it on there, but I'm done with SoundCloud. SoundCloud started messing up my comments, which is eventually what made me have to get on social media, is because I used to do a lot of commenting. So SoundCloud updated their policy as far as people commenting, and people leaving spam because SoundCloud is getting more popular and this, that, and the third. So because I commented so much that they started blocking my shit to where I could not comment. And that pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? Fuck SoundCloud. I'm done with SoundCloud. I'm getting off SoundCloud. I ain't fucking with it. Because I understand the need to not blow up people's shit. Like, people could be spamming, people sending out links, people doing this, that, and the third, and just trying to get their name out there. But I was genuinely having conversations. That's the only way you can have public conversations you with different individuals or whatever, with podcasters, and link and talk to podcasters. Otherwise, I wasn't really on social media and stuff like that. And I wasn't finna just be messaging them. Also, because of how SoundCloud is, you can comment as you're listening to the episode, which is awesome, because that podcaster, they could then go back and listen to that particular part of the podcast, and they could see what the fuck you were talking about during that particular time. A lot of times with social media, there's a delay, because it's like, yo, from the time that you actually listen to it, from when they actually upload it, to them actually trying to remember what the hell you talking about, this, that, and the third, it was just like, yo, SoundCloud. At first, I liked how it was, but they changed their policy. Fucked me up, man. I was like really upset. So anyway, boom. I'm doing that. I'm on Podbean. I really ain't on SoundCloud or whatever. But I'm doing all of this on my phone, and I'm like, yo, I can't keep doing all of this on my phone. So eventually, I'm still researching. I'm still, working. You know what I mean? It's always under construction. I'm figuring out, okay, how can I get my podcast on this site? How can I get my podcast on this site? How can I get my podcast on that site? Which is still what I'm doing till this day. I'm still looking into graphics. I'm having behind the scenes conversations on with people that do graphics design and different things like that. I'm researching different audio equipment. I'm researching how to, have guests and do virtual guests, as well as, if I'm bringing somebody in and I have a guest on my show, which is eventually what y'all heard, is me starting to actually have some guests on my show, because I'm learning. I'm looking at different apps, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now, I do record from my phone till this day. I record from my phone. Anytime I do any guest features, I do all of that shit from my phone or whatever. My recording conditions, I do that in my house, in my car. Them is my two places. I have to do it either when my wife is gone, when my daughter is gone. I have to basically find time when I can actually record, because I don't always have time to record. You know what I mean? So I have to find time to record. I don't always have the space to record or whatever. So I have to find space to record. So that is my recording conditions, which is why I was like, yo, I can't do no episode every week. I would have to literally sit down, do this editing, and then try to put out an episode every week. And I was like, nah, man. So usually what I do is I put out an episode, I promote that episode heavy, I talk about it, and I try to get people to engage more. That's basically my whole thing, is like engagement. Until I can kind of automate some stuff, which I did do for a while. I did some little automations or whatever, using different software as a service programs or whatever. But I was like, yo, these ain't necessarily the things I want, because I really don't like that automated shit. I don't like no online software sending out little stuff about my podcast. I like it to be me. You know what I mean? I like it to be genuine. Like, so when y'all reply to it, I can reply back. So it's me, like it's live, it's different, it's dynamic. I don't like it to just be one specific thing. If I could hire an individual to do that, that's what I would do, because I still know it's a real person, and it's not me setting up these automated little things, setting up these automated emails, no, it's all me. Everything y'all see for the most part is me, up until current. Maybe little things I've tried here and there, but everything y'all see, every tweet, every Instagram post, is all AJ. I come up with it, I design it, I figure out if I'm going to use some type of, photo editor or some type of quote editor or notes or something like that. I figure out, okay, what I want it to look like. Okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to promote this? Okay, this one I'm going to do audio with. Oh, this one I'm going to do a little video with. Oh, this one I'm going to do Instagram Live. Oh, this one I really be putting a lot of thought into, okay, how am I going to do it? And I try to set time aside from when I record it to then, okay, how am I going to present it to everybody? So that's kind of what I go into when I actually record, when I'm working on a podcast, when I'm just thinking about different things and just trying to be different and set myself apart. Y'all see me updating, different posts, and I'm trying to do the graphics a little bit differently. I don't want my stuff to be like Podcast Brothers. I don't want my stuff to be like TOS. I don't want my stuff to be like Dreams and Drive. I don't want my stuff to be like Spiritual Homegirl. But I do borrow little things from here and there, man. Like I look and see what they doing. It doesn't make any sense to see what people are doing that you would like to do and then try to figure out how can I get like them. You know what I mean? So I see Podcast Brothers kind of giving out tips on what they do, what software they use. I see TOS giving out little tips on what they do, what they use. I see Dreams and Drive giving out little tips on what they doing. I see We Come From Queens working on their software. I see a lot of people, man, making hands. I'm happy. CEO Hayes with the Awakened Soul. You know what I mean? I see what that man doing, linking up. People getting in with these different podcast networks, which is dope, man. I salute y'all for figuring out how to get it, how y'all live. Whether y'all doing this as something for fun or whether y'all see something greater out of this, I salute y'all, man. I'm working on some things as far as merch. I'm working on some, some other little things in the background, man, But I want it all to be organic. Like I want it all to be real. Like it's really me. I want people to fuck with me because I'm really being me. I want to do business that I'm interested in. I want to do link ups that I'm interested in. I want to connect with folks that I'm interested in. And I want to support other people just because y'all dope and because y'all doing podcasts. So don't feel like, man, this, that, and the third. Like I say, everything ain't for everybody, you know what I mean? Because even though I may not be a fan or whatever, maybe somebody else is a fan, you know what I mean? And if I see something, I'm going to retweet it, I'm going to like it, I'm going to share it or whatever, even if I'm not necessarily following you or whatever, even if I'm not necessarily following your podcast, even if I didn't stop listening to your podcast, because there are podcasts that I was listening to, I was promoting heavy, and now I didn't kind of stop listening to them because I just didn't kind of moved into a different wave. I'm a real picky person. So like I'm always going through and figuring out, okay, how can I invest into myself? What are good things that I can put in? What are good podcasts that I can listen to? What are things that are going to help me grow, help me develop? And everything kind of has this little box. I listen to this for entertainment. I listen to this for this. I listen to this for this. I really don't listen to no hip hop podcast except for my homegirl, Lisa Evers. You know what I mean? Lisa Evers' podcast. That's probably the only podcast that I listen to that's probably even hip-hop related. Joe Budden podcast, which I don't really consider it to be hip-hop related, even though he a hip-hop dude. But I listen to the Joe Budden podcast. But I really don't listen to no hip-hop related podcast just because I don't want to. I'm going to be honest. I did all of that. I done been there. I done done that. I'll kind of get into it a little bit here and there on social media, but I just don't sit down and listen to people talk about hip hop. I'll go out to Hot 97, not the Breakfast Clubs. They really don't do shit. They're really about a lot of bullshit, but they do have good shit sprinkled in between the bullshit or whatever. But I'll go to Hot 97. I'll go to some other little places where I really want to get like my real hip hop stuff. I do listen to It's the Real. Them is the homies. Shout out to It's the Real, man. They support them is good dudes. I do listen to the Cypher Show. That's hip hop. It's a good thing. It take you back through the history of hip hop. But I don't, that's probably it as far as me listening to anything about hip hop. I done got off page, but I really wanted to kind of talk about that, man, as far as like what goes into me recording, what podcasts I listen to, and how I kind of go through my different motions as a fan and as a podcaster, because I try to keep that balance. There's a side of me that's out there purely as a fan. And then there's a side of me that's out there and I'm a podcaster and I'm trying to be on my podcast grind. I'm trying to be on my podcast shit. I'm trying to link up. But I really do be a fan of people's shit as well. Like I'm not supporting people just so they can support me. I was supporting a lot of folks way before they were supporting anything that I was doing. People to this day, I know Noriega, the real Noriega. He owe me 100 favors. All the podcast people I mess with, everybody, they be like, man, whatever you need, I got you. Whatever you like, but it was all on some genuine shit. Even with who I listen to now, Black Law and Legal Lies, like I do genuine stuff and people be like, bro, whatever you need, just holler at me. I ain't even pulled in none of them favors or nothing yet from people that told me way back in 2016, like, yo, hey man, whatever you do, I'm gonna support you, man, because you supported us. You've been doing this. dope shit. You put out dope stuff, man. You help us. You critique us. Even when I critique folks, man, I critique people behind the scenes. Just like what Roy said about Joe Budden and that whole shit. I agree. You know what I mean? Some people, you take that shit behind the scenes, and it's like, when I talk to people about their podcast, you know what I mean? I've talked to podcast brothers about their podcast. I've talked to Dream Drives about her podcast. Just little things I hear. This ain't me because we in the same thing, because I don't feel like, again, nobody's my competition. I ain't got no competition. I'm just doing my thing, and I'm the only one that can do it the way that I do it. I'm supporting y'all, and I'm talking to y'all as fans. Oh, man, you probably need to work on the quality. Oh, you need to do this. And it ain't nothing bad, but I do all of this behind the scenes. I don't put nobody on blast and be talking about their shit in public or whatever. Oh, man, hey, I seen you edited this. I seen your music, your audio. I seen this. I talk to them, though. Like, I have real, genuine conversations, because people want to know the good shit along with the bad shit. They want to know, like, okay, did you hear this? Did this come through clearly? Was my mics acting up? Was this, like, people want to know. Everybody can't hear everything. Some people may think their podcast is perfect, you know what I mean? But I really do, like, listen, and I talk to people, and I kind of give them feedback. Because, again, that's what we're supposed to be here for. We ain't supposed to be here, in my opinion, just to, like, share and retweet their shit. We supposed to engage with these people. We supposed to tell them what they can do. We supposed to talk to them about their merch. Man, I talk to TOS about different things. Oh, man, y'all should do this. Y'all should, you know, da-da-da-da-da. But, again, you got to put some money into it, too, and I'm still working on that. Putting money. I have put money into, you know, different little things, but I definitely got to do better on that thing as far as putting money in. But this is what I'll say to anybody who feel like, damn, AJ specifically ain't putting no money in. He done did this, and this, but he ain't putting no money in. Believe me, it's coming. Y'all already know, man. If y'all doing dope shit, if y'all doing good shit, it's coming. My support gonna come. Y'all done got I believe my value done been there. Y'all can calculate it, y'all can quantify it, but my value been there since 2016, and it's gonna be there as long as I'm a fan of the show or whatever, or as long as I'm just a fan of you and I support y'all as people or whatever. So the money, I'm gonna do that too or whatever, you know what I mean? I gotta do better on that front, but it's all good, because I don't think y'all tripping, and I know I definitely ain't tripping or whatever, because it's like, yo, y'all know I'm really fucking with y'all. Even though I ain't put no money in just yet, like, I really do fuck with y'all, and I really support y'all, and I wish y'all the best or whatever. So I hope all of y'all know that. All my Instagram followers, all my Twitter followers, all my podcast people, y'all know who y'all is. I've been fucking, man, y'all know what it is, and it ain't so I can get something out of y'all. I'm not using y'all for y'all followers. I want to help y'all get more followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all podcast to get as big as it can get, because I feel like it's good. Not because I'm a fan. Not because I'm a podcast. Not because I'm trying to get something out of it. Like, I think it's good. I want y'all to do bigger. I want y'all to do better. And I want to have the same thing for myself. And I know I got to step my stuff up. I know I got to do better. I know I got to work on this front. So I see Podcast Brothers. They got a live show coming up. I see Dreams and Drive making different moves, getting on iTunes. I see TOS linking up with different people. I see CEO Hayes linking up with different people. I see a lot of people making a lot of moves, and I salute y'all. We come from Queens, did a live show, man, and salute. That worked out, and that went good. Spiritual homegirl, she always doing her thing. She supports, she follow, man, and I salute her, man. Me and her have conversations behind the scenes as well as New Geechee, man. She always on her stuff. I got a lot of people that I can talk about, but if y'all follow me, y'all know the people I really fool with, man, that I'm really cool with or whatever. Like, y'all know who that is. So my plan is to really just keep having fun, keep enjoying it, keep making little improvements. Keep doing this, that, and the third, and just keep having it behind the scenes and keep seeing growth. I done got retweeted by celebrities. I done got followed by different, by a few people that's verified or whatever. I done got liked and all of this stuff. I done had people, and that make me feel good. Because, again, it's all on some genuine stuff, man. So anytime I see celebrities coming in there and they retweeting my stuff, they liking my stuff, man. Like, I'm like, cool. This is cool. Like, this is what I would like it to be or whatever, man. That I'm really out here talking. I'm really out here being a real person. And people is responding to that. So that's how I plan on keeping it going. Like, as long as this is fun, I'm going to keep doing it, man. As long as y'all want it. That's the other part. You know what I mean? I want people to get more engaged. I want y'all to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. I want y'all to talk about this offline. Like, I really want my podcast to be something that y'all talk about online, and y'all take this shit offline and y'all apply it to y'all real life. Because, man, I want everybody to get better. I want everybody to do better. I don't care if you black, white, Indian, Haitian, Creole, Hispanic, whatever you is, this is for everybody. This is not just a black podcast for black people. Yes, I'm black. I talk about a lot of black stuff. I come from a black perspective. But if y'all can take something from this, take it and apply it to your life, whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not just talking about black issues. I've talked about the NFL. You know what I mean? That's not just a black issue, man. Like, whatever y'all, you know what I mean? Like, whatever y'all want to call it, it's a human issue. It's a lot of issues. It's human issues that ain't just black issues, and people just want to consider them to be black issues or whatever. But this is why Black Lives Matter. It's like, we matter too. We humans too. There's a lot of shit. I ain't even gonna get off into all of that. But these are human issues. These are human rights. Y'all us. All this separation. No, man, I'm not about all of that. I want to bring everybody together. I want to bring the technology podcast to the social podcast, to the comedy podcast, to the business podcast, to the serial, because some people have series podcasts. I want to bring everybody together because, hey, maybe this is something you're interested in. Maybe this is something where you can get something out of this. You know what I mean? I follow like Rob Greenlee from Spreaker Live, man. He got the Spreaker Live show, and he do a little stuff. And I've talked to Rob. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like he give all this good gems, not just shit that applies to Spreaker, stuff that applies to podcasters that can really help you step your podcast game up. Like, I'm really a lover of information and knowledge, man. So Rob do that, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that do that. So find your people, find your niche. Also, try to do stuff in your local area, man. That would be one thing. If I could give y'all a gem, is like, look, y'all can connect with all these people, niggas in Africa, Europe, all this other bullshit. You need to be doing stuff locally as well, man. And I know typically, locally, them is like the hardest motherfuckers to get to fuck with you. But I think you need to have some type of balance, you know what I mean? Because if you could impact any area of the world, if you could impact any minds, I would probably think most people would want to impact their direct communities. It's all cool to have these fans, and I salute California. I get a lot of love from California. I get a lot of love from Texas. That's my number one people is California and Texas, crazy enough, and a few other little areas or whatever. But them, I don't know. I don't even know why. I don't know if it's because of the hashtags, but it's like, man, hey, I salute y'all. My people in California, I salute y'all. Damn, we grown. I salute y'all. Everybody in Texas, I salute y'all. Whoever fucking with me, I'm fucking with you too, man. So I appreciate the love. So yeah, man, like, that's how I keep it going. That's how my mind works. That's what I'm thinking about. I am thinking about bigger things. I see, Awkward Black Girl, you know what I mean? I see what Issa Rae is doing. I see what I can't even think of their names right now, but you know what I'm saying? I mess with a lot of like bigger podcasts that get all these downloads. And I used to really talk to these people, man, and some people talk back, some people didn't talk back, you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, I get it, you know what I mean? People living their lives. Some people, I think they are more celebrity than they really should be or whatever, even though they got over 1 million downloads and they got over 1 million this and they got this and they get this many volume. I think, like, if people really talking to you, I think that, man, the least you could do is really, like, engage them, you know what I mean? Like, outside of people that don't really talk to you. Like, I see a lot of large podcasts that get all these different shares and stuff, people I didn't talk to behind the scenes, and they're like, damn, I don't really have an engaging community. You one of the few followers that really even talks. Like, I got all these things and people don't even talk, you know what I'm saying? So Greg E. Hill, the Minority Trailblazers, he on his thing. He out, he's speaking, he making money, he grinded, and he still come back, he still touch down, and he give us some soul food on the Minority Trailblazer podcast. So salute to Greg E. Hill, man. He the homie too or whatever, and I chop it up with him. So yeah, man, that's I'm rambling a little bit, but that's what I gotta say about that, man. You know what I mean? To kind of wrap it up and finish this off, what I see for the future, which I've already kind of talked about, is just bigger and better things. You know what I mean? Talking about merch, talking about launching another podcast, link ups. Definitely want to attend some podcast festivals. I already got different little things I want to do in the pipeline or whatever, man. So I just see bigger and better things. As long as I still enjoy this podcast and stuff, and as long as y'all still want it, as long as I ain't no outcast, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm okay with my little niche. I'm okay with my little almost 300 followers on Twitter, and almost 100 followers on Instagram. There's a reason for that, and it's all genuine. I feel like it's all authentic, man. I ain't played no games. I ain't did nothing. So I would rather take 10 real followers that talk to me, mess with me, retweet, and like my stuff than to have all these followers that don't do none of that. I would rather deal with them 10, you know what I mean? And them 10 is going to keep me doing it. Dose of Inspiration, 246. That's the hump, man. She been supporting since day one, you know what I mean? She keeps supporting. I'm going to support her, whatever. Go visit her website. Go follow her on Twitter. Go follow her on Instagram. Most of the stuff she do is on Instagram. She's still working her way up on Twitter or whatever. But, man, it's all, genuine, you know what I mean? And I like that. I like building organic relationships. I like doing stuff organically because I feel like those will stand the test of time. All the other stuff will eventually fall away. It'll fade away. But those genuine things will stand the test of time. And y'all talk back to me, man. Y'all see me out there talking to folks. Man, talk back to me. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all don't talk back to me, eventually I'll be like, you know what? I ain't got to put as much energy into y'all. You know what I mean? I'm really messing with people. But when I see people that ain't really communicating back, and now I know I'm learning, some of y'all asses don't know how to use Twitter. Some of y'all ain't even really on Twitter like that. Some of y'all ain't even on Instagram like that. So I get it. So I do give y'all a break because some of y'all have announced it and said, look, I got to do better as far as Twitter. I got to do better as far as Instagram. So I can't be upset with y'all whenever I'm talking and I'm being engaged and I'm retweeting y'all stuff and y'all is just nowhere to be found. Because in my mind, I want y'all to also get it out as well. It's I can talk about all these podcasts and how dope y'all are as much as y'all, as much until my face turns blue. But if y'all are not doing it, if y'all ain't doing it yourself, if y'all ain't retweeting and y'all ain't, it's help me help you. You know what I'm saying? If y'all not doing that, it's only so far I can go with my community. You know what I mean? So it ain't even about my stuff. I don't be sitting there talking about y'all stuff again so y'all can talk about my stuff or whatever, man. I hope that y'all talking about mine because y'all cool with it. Now, if y'all do want to talk about it because I talk about y'all shit, cool, do that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I will take that as well. Please do that. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. All right, man, I've been talking long enough, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope y'all got something out this episode. Y'all know the whole journey that I've been through. Y'all see everything, and just talking about where I am today. That's where I am today, man. I'm still working on, the house. You know what I mean? Once I move into the house, move in next month is the move in. I'm so ready to get out of this and get into my house. And get my yard and all of that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? My daughter can just run around. She can run around now. We got a backyard. We got a front yard now. But it's not mine. You know what I mean? It's not mine. You know what I'm saying? It's occupying somebody else's space. They got a nice house. You know what I mean? 5, 6 bedrooms, whatever. 3, 4, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's not mine. It's not AJ's. I got to get, more, into my own stuff. And again, this house, it ain't no funny stuff or nothing like that. It's all official. It's all legitimate. And again, I was cool with waiting because I got the nice house and I got it in a nice neighborhood that I wanted it to be in or whatever. So I ain't in the hood. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not in the hood. I'm out here with the affluent black people and Hispanic people and white folks. I'm not out in the hood. You know what I'm saying? My wife was not going to the hood. I could have went to the hood. I would have been straight. I would have definitely spent less money. My rent would definitely be cheaper. I wouldn't have to pay for landscaping. Now I got to pay for all that. I got to pay for all this extra stuff. It don't matter. You know what I mean? We good. I secured the bag. The bag is secure. But that's when I'm going to get all my equipment set up as far as my podcasting equipment. as far as Skype, as far as some of these other things, so that I can do virtual and all of that type of stuff. I'm done. I done talked long enough. Remember, y'all can find me on social media at What We Gonna Do Pod. That's Instagram. That's Twitter. Support this show. Go to patreon.com/What We Gonna Do. If you would like to start a podcast and you listening to me and you've been on that little thing, y'all heard everything I said in this episode. All the tools that you need are readily available to you. I posted something today, just so y'all know when I'm recording this. We got all of these tools and we ain't built shit. You defeating yourself. You stopping yourself. And don't expect things to happen overnight. Most things take time. Good things do. Good things come to those who wait. Whether you believe it or not. Good things come to those who work and wait. You got to be patient and you got to work on shit. So boom. So good things do come, man. Go out. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure y'all like any of my posts. Make sure y'all retweet it. Make sure y'all follow me. Make sure y'all email me whatwegonnado@gmail.com. I appreciate y'all, man. I really fuck with this podcast and shit, man. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep being in the street. I'm gonna keep being a father. I'm gonna keep being a husband. I'm gonna keep getting this money and being a director at my job. I'm doing it all, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep being articulate. Sometimes y'all gonna hear me use slang. Sometimes y'all gonna hear me use correct grammar. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? And the topic that I'm talking about. Midterm elections. I will be doing a podcast on the midterm elections. Very important. Get registered to vote. Tell somebody else to vote. We have to get the House back. We got to get the Senate back. Congress. We got to get control, man. We need bipartisanship. We need bipartisanship. I am so serious. Let me say it again. We need bipartisanship. All this stuff for the red versus blue Republicans and Democrats. We got to get rid of all that shit, man. We got to move forward as a country. We got to do better. Like, we got to get this motherfucker out of office. That's a fact. He got to go. All this shit he got going on, I don't think he know none of what he doing or whatever. So, midterm elections are this year. For those of you who do not know, November of this year, midterm elections. A lot of seats are up. Probably some governors, some senators. Get these motherfuckers out of there, man. Do whatever y'all can do, man. Man, look, go out, hold a whole little voting thing or whatever, man. Get people registered. Aight, I'm done. I done rambled long enough. Until next time, y'all be safe. Y'all be easy. I hope y'all getting money and y'all ain't starving. Take care of your kids. Peace.